What's up, guys? This is Vito from Perfect Storm Gaming, and I am joined today with Mr. Michael Battista. How are you today,
Oh,
sir?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
I just want to first say thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you've done for this country. It's not easy doing what you did. You're a Green Beret, correct? Special Forces.
That's
That's
correct.
not an easy thing to do. It's not like you just joined and you gave your service. You joined and decided I want to be the best of the best of the best, and you did it. So, to me, that is that is amazing. So, thank you so much. Um,
Appreciate your support.
if you don't mind telling us just who the people at home might not know who you are, because I'm a gaming channel mostly, but I am into UFOs and I'm starting to do this podcast thing and I'm loving it. And I thank you for being my second big guest. First being Julian Dory, second being you. This is amazing. Can you tell us how you got started in this? Who are you, and what you do exactly, so people know?
My name is Michael Battista, and I've worked with government contractors as a psionic asset professionally in order to facilitate communications between non-human intelligence and us on the ground.
Okay. And for those who don't know, what is a psionic asset? Because some might not know what psionics is.
Exactly. So a psionic asset is someone who can interface and communicate with non-human intelligence using consciousness-based protocols. Um, and we can call them in, get them close to us, and observe them, and try to initiate peaceful contact. Psionics. The word psionics is um, it's the study and practical use of exploring consciousness to interact with the world around us, and that involves like remote viewing, out of body experiences, telepathy, that wheelhouse. So.
Can you perform all of those, like telepathy and things like that, or is it just you psionics?
Yeah, so I work with the invitation and getting a beacon out for this NHI to attract them and communicate with them. The remote viewing, um, all that other stuff, I'm no expert in. Everyone seems to have their strong area naturally, but this is something that it's a new frontier of science that's being explored, and I believe that all humans have this ability, and it's a birthright. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, and it can be taught to anybody. And there's you can look and do your research online, and this is something that's not new. It's been practiced and studied for quite a bit
Yeah,
now.
I've heard that the remote viewing is something that most people, like 80% of people, can do or whatever. And I've actually brought up to you, things that I know that I like when I was a kid, I could see things happen, predict things that would happen in the future, and it was little stupid things that I would see. And I spoke to two ghosts in my lifetime. Actually spoke to them.
Mhm.
Um, is that linked? Is that all linked? You think, or
It seems to be in the same broad generalization of the psionics and the paranormal stuff. It's got to be all linked together somewhere, and I think it's consciousness. There's still such a deep misunderstanding of the actual abilities that humans can exhibit in this sector. So, trying to bring some of this to the public and increase the awareness, so we can really push this topic further, because there's something to it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not trying to make this about me, but yeah, it's something that freaked me out as a kid, and it's not something I feel them. If, like, hypothetically there was a ghost in his house, I would know it was here, but I wouldn't see it, but I would know it was here. So yeah, that's just crazy to me. How did you know you could first do this? Like, when did you know that you were able to do this thing? It's not simple, right?
So, I've seen a few UFOs in my life before all this started. Um, However, that day zero, I guess, of this, where I first made contact with NHI, and it was a non-mistakable "I see you, you see me" occurrence with validation. Um, well, I was outside. It was about 3 in the morning, I'd say, and I was just looking up at the stars, and I see something going by, which now I would say looks like an orb. But when I saw it, I was like, definitely not a plane, definitely not a drone, maybe a satellite. But it looked more than a satellite to me because it was a lot lower. And, I growing up, I'd been watching Ancient Aliens and all those UFO hunter shows. So, I've heard that these beings possibly communicate telepathically. So I'm sitting there like a joker, staring up at this thing, and I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if you're an alien and you're telepathic and you communicate with consciousness, like if you can hear me, stop. And this thing just goes going by in the sky and just stopped dead in its tracks. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, what could that be? That's not normal, I think. So, all right, I kind of like walked around a little bit, like shook it off. And I was like, all right, let's try this again. If this is really happening and like you're trying to get my attention and you can hear me, shine the brightest white light that you can. And this thing started just pulsing, just like a little mini sun, and comes back down. And then second time I was like still skeptical. I'm like, I gotta go to bed. It's getting late now. And then the third time I was like, okay, like if this is actually real, go to this part of the sky. And I would look there and think about where to go. And it would just boom. And I would be like, over here, boom. And that went on for about 10 or 15 minutes. It was just so strange and unusual for me. Like it kind of just didn't even seem real at the time. And I had to eat that one and tell anyone about it. But that was the first occurrence.
Now, was this before you joined the military or after?
That was during.
During. Okay. So this is while you're in there, and you didn't tell anybody? You didn't say, "Hey, this happened," right? Because then they'd look at you crazy, right? Just like I know the feeling. Trust me, I feel crazy talking about my shit half the time.
No, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell my wife at the time, I don't think. But the next night, they were bickering back and forth about something, and I ended up sleeping in the bed of my truck in the driveway the next day. And it's kind of like the doghouse. But this thing came back. This thing came back like right over the tree line. I was able to snap a photo of it. It looked like a giant disco ball in the sky. And then just up front, long enough to get my attention. And I pulled out my phone. I run up the driveway, and it's egressing, going up.
Now, how often after that did you see them often after that? Was it
so that time? No, like it went dormant for about a year. Okay, and it wasn't until March of 21 where that changed my life with that first sighting, and so on from there.
And then, so the video with that you showed Coulthard, when that was from when exactly?
That was April of 23.
April of 23. And you said it started in 21, so 2 years. You said nothing for a year, and then in 23, it just, I guess, did it pick up out of nowhere? Like, have you noticed that you're seeing them more often or less often?
Well, so in 21, like I had just seen this extremely profound UAP encounter right overhead. It was like a blue mist with a transparent cube in it. I got photos of that as well. And then literally every single day for a year straight, I was being visited by these things. And it wasn't even easy to cope with at the time. I thought I was going nuts for a little bit. Yeah. I was like, even though I have all this footage and I can't talk, you can't talk to anyone about it. So it's like, you kind of just have to own it. But my abilities were being sharpened over that year. And like these NHI have a way to communicate that is like, they are almost teaching me a language through the interaction. Yeah. So, like you get, like, you can call them downloads or whatever. And it's like, you just get this thought, like you receive. And, sometimes like, I'll still even be like, oh, that's my imagination or something, but there's been ways to validate it. Like the first 6 months or so of, from 21 on, like that interaction, like I was almost spoiled because like this phenomenon would just appear like almost instantaneously in in the sky when I would request, and I thought that was going to be it the whole time until one night, working late in my building. It was like 3 a.m. I'm going outside and I'm trying to say hi to my friends from out of town or whatever, and I tried to call them in, and like nothing was happening. And I was like, oh my God, like, did I do something wrong? Did I lose the ability? Like, had a little mini panic because I was just so used to like, that kind of treatment. And then, I got this message, and it's like, maybe you should be a little more patient, I was like, huh. I guess,
like, look here, bitch, I don't come when you call.
I guess that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Like maybe they can't just appear on the snap of a finger anymore. So I was like, okay, like I'll just hang out and be patient. And as soon as I had that thought, it was like at the tip of the thought ending, like boom, they appeared in the sky, and like there's two of them just came and did like these two streaks in the sky like this. It's like, hey, we've been here, but we're trying to teach you something. So
you think, like, is it always the same? And I'm gonna say aliens because I say aliens and I see UFO. I don't do the NHI, and I don't know. I'm old, so I can't. I understand why people say it, but when I say aliens and UFOs, you fucking know what I mean, right? Like it's
of course,
aliens and UFOs, for fuck's sake. So when you're seeing these, or you're getting, I guess you're connecting with them psionically, correct? Is it always the same species? Do they have the same intent? Are they kind? Are they nice? Like, I'm so fascinated by everyone's about the craft. I don't. I care about the craft, but like I want to know about what's inside that craft. Like, that's
So I've seen multiple different types of the UAP phenomenon, different types of crafts, yeah. So like I've seen orbs that were blue. First one I ever saw was blue, zoomed off into space, hyperspeeds. I've seen white ones that they kind of look like satellites, green ones, and I've also seen orange ones. But there's this one orange one that's different than all the other ones. It's more like personable, I guess you could say. Like it comes in closer, and like when this thing is nearby and it's like pulsing, like, and it's getting super bright, like it's projecting something onto me and the people I do it with, and it's like a loving sensation, a familiar, like safe, like don't be afraid type sensation. And from there, I've seen Tic Tacs, the cylinders, I've seen a whole mess of things. Another interaction I get is with, I call it the mothership. It's a absolute massive triangular craft, and I've had witnesses multiple occasions to see that with me. And one of those times, I think it was right overhead. It was taken up. It had to have been a mile long. It was just that big, right overhead.
So when you say triangular, is it all right? So there's two different types of triangles. There's the pyramid, which I've heard are like huge, and that was the thing that was at the Peniat. It's the one that's in Wales, the Peniat's church. It was like 8 stories high pyramid. Is that what you're referring to when you say triangle, a pyramid, or triangle flat like a treb?
So I think I've encountered both types. The one that landed was like a small looking pyramid, but this one in the sky, like, I've seen ones that I believe to be an actual like equilateral triangle that may be flat, but then I've seen the pyramid one, and it's like flipping in, like, not space, it's like doing like this in the sky. So yeah, it varies. I think there's a lot of different stuff out there, and as well as beings. I just showed you a picture before this interview of a little green guy, about 3.5 feet tall, wearing purple. I've seen ones that look like insects, like I guess more like a mantis, if I had to make my best assumption. And I've seen a taller version of the grays, around like 5 feet, I'd say.
And now, how big are the mantis ones, and how insect do they look? Do those give projection of friendliness, or are they evil? That makes sense.
I don't think that some of these beings have the same morals and ethics that we do. So it's hard to say. Obviously, I wasn't harmed by anything.
Okay,
And as far as size, like maybe 5, 6 feet.
for the mantis.
Yeah, they're pretty big. Yeah.
And how?
But again, it's hard to say, like, how big they could get, because you only see them.
Right. And how close have you been to them? And like have you connected with, you know what I mean? Like, have you actually had like face to face, like 10 feet away? Is this something you
I
can talk
was
about?
I was about 50 feet away from the being in the picture that I sent you.
From closer.
Uh,
Okay. Wow.
yeah, the craft landed. I was about 50 feet away. And yeah, there was a connection there. Like it did something to me. Um, and like I was just in a very calm, relaxed, almost docile state. Um, and like I wasn't really able to react. Normally, it was kind of almost like not like a trance, but like, you know, maybe it
Like
was
frozen in
even a form,
place.
not even frozen in place, but like I just, yeah, maybe paralyzed a little bit, but I wasn't completely frozen because I could fight it enough to pull my phone out. And
Right, right.
my
Okay.
camera's going like this, you know, I'm trying to fight this thing. Um, but again, I was like, what the hell am I looking at? Um, and it lasted about 10 minutes. And um, yeah, you know, like the craft, as it was coming down, like it had lights exhibiting in like this shape and a light on the top. So I was like, oh, it kind of looks like, you know, you're like an angel with wings or something. But
Right.
uh, that's like, you know, kind of what you'd imagine when you see it. But like, I think that, you know, that may be an interpretation of, I mean, who knows? You know, I'm not even trying to get into anything religious, but it was a craft. Um, and, and the thing came down, and as it was coming down, like it started shape shifting and morphing. Kind of came up and it did an arc, which I have a video of as well. And it turned into like all these different objects. And then one of the objects it turned into is something that you might see in a petroglyph, you know, in Utah of these, you know, star people. And it's a very rigid shape, like the torsos and like the arms are like this. Um, and it was holding what looked like a shield in the photo or in the video or whatever.
Mhm.
And like on these petroglyphs, it's the same exact thing that I saw. And on the petroglyphs, there's spirals, you know, and if the spiral's going one way, it's supposed to be like going forward in time, and if it's going the other way, it's supposed to be reverse. So it looked like this something stepped out of a portal, and then because after it shape shifted into that figure, it turned into that humanoid shape that I sent you the picture of as well. Um, Before you know it hit the ground, so like I was, you know, thought maybe he was trying to show me something, and that's what kind of led me on the trail. And I met up with Carl Crusher, and we went to investigate this. And you know, we're out at Thunderstrike Ranch doing that.
God damn. It's crazy. The
Yeah.
crazy thing is that like, so you sent me this image here. Can we go over what exactly this image is? This image looks like a shirtless barbarian holding a shield, right? You said he's holding a shield?
No, so that's in a previous frame. I'll have to get that one to you.
Okay.
But this is what the shape it took as it was shape shifting after it presented what you'd see on the petroglyphs.
So
So
this is the actual creature right here. The
yes, so this
top.
is actually before it hit the ground. Yes.
Okay, so the top white part, this is its head, correct?
Yep.
Then going down to the shoulders, arm,
Yep.
you got
It's
an
like a
arm.
purple shirt. I guess you can see.
Yep.
Yep.
And then down here, that's his other arm. Is there something behind it here over the
So I think he's standing behind something.
okay. Because it looks like there's somebody headwise behind him over if you're facing his way, it's his left shoulder, which is the one that
Right.
looks like his arm is straight down to the left. And then you got
Mhm.
an arm here to the right that looks like it's holding something. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's
In
something.
the real time video of when it's on the ground, you can see beings moving around. You know, if you want to zoom
Yeah,
in and
yeah,
go
I'm
frame
gonna
by
show
frame
that in a
after.
second.
Yeah.
I wanted to go over the image here.
Hmm.
So that, all right, so we can see here that you outlined it for me. This is his actual face, correct? So you have here in the green part on the right hand side, you can make out eyes and a nose and a Joker looking mouth. Then you've got this white part here. What is this white part? It looks like a
So I think that's part of the interface that it's standing behind.
okay. So this is part of the craft that he's in.
Yes. So I think that they were able to, like, if it was cloaked to some, or like they made it transparent, like we could see into this thing. And yeah, you can see that it has like the elongated skull. And on the left side, the purple is his arm that you see in the previous photo. He had like the purple looking shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is one of the beings that I encountered during the landing event.
And I know people are going to be like, why didn't you get a clearer picture? It looks like somebody came on. Like, you're going to get all these nonsensical bullshit.
I will say this was an unexpected visit.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't equipped with state-of-the-art technology. I was just had my phone on me.
Right. Yeah. And people got to understand, for whatever reason, the minute you turn these goddamn phones on, I've done it myself. When I saw my UFO last year, it becomes a friggin' potato. I don't understand. It's like almost like it's on purpose, intentional. I don't get it. You could have, I have a great camera that takes great pictures, and then as soon as I point it in the sky, it just looks like an ass. Straight ass.
Well, when this thing was on the ground and I was recording it, it looked like ethereal and I can't imagine being able to get good footage on a phone with it. So this is what I'm working with for this.
It looks similar to me to the Pelicardas that Alberino was showing, the one that was on top of. You ever see the Pelicardas from Peru that were? Okay, so there was the Pelicardas in Peru, and they were terrorizing this village for like months. And they got a picture or video of one of them on top of the building, and it looked very similar to this in face structure. It was like a long, elongated head, and it was doing this weird shit in the video. And it was
maybe I have seen that one. Yeah.
Almost like our technology is bouncing like they're reflecting. I'm assuming. I'm going to assume.
Well, and I I think that, you know, if they're interdimensional, you know, it's maybe they're still materializing or they're not fully materialized, because I've seen like these plasma things take shape into an entity before. So
right, and that's what I was going to ask you about too. Give me 1 second. Let me put the video up here. All right, so let's go over this footage here. This is the footage that you gave to News Nation. Only it didn't look like this. It looked, I don't know what
it didn't end up looking like that at the end of it.
So this is clearly this is a being walking across. This is the craft here in the middle.
Right. So 50 feet away, this is on the ground. You see there's 3 points on the ground, and there's another thing on top. So it's like a pyramid, triangular shape. There's a being walking from right to left, and there's also one behind that middle piece.
Yeah, there's one that he's walking to, basically. I can see that.
Yes.
You see it even move.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And yeah, it was my brain.
How tall were they?
It took a little time to register. So the one standing like that right there, I would assume the height of, you know, see how it's like that pillar of light right there. Mm-hmm. I'd say about 3.5 feet tall. And there was a taller one in the back that is difficult to see unless you zoom in and go frame by frame. But there was, we believe, after reviewing this so many times, and just from what I can recall, there was 3 beings there.
Wow. And now you were linked psionically to any of these beings, like connected? Could you communicate with them? Were they communicating with you? Go through the story, because I haven't heard this story. I actually did not watch the Ross Coulthard interview. I wanted to, but I didn't.
Too easy. So I'm out under the stars, and I'm trying to initiate contact, like, you know, I do on a normal whatever day of the week, you know. And I see what looks like an orb going by. It's super high up in the sky. It looks like a satellite, to be honest. And I was, you know, at this point in my journey, about 8 months in, and I'm still discovering these abilities, but I still don't have an understanding of why this is happening to me, or what these, you know, creatures or entities want. Just that it's an everyday ordeal, and they're showing up, and you know, I don't know. I don't think they're just showing up for no reason, just to, you know, say hey. But as this orb was going by, I'm thinking to myself, like, why won't you guys land? Like, what do you want with me? Like, why are you guys here? Like, you're just giving me enough to give me nothing. Like if you're this hyper intelligent alien species, just land. And I was like expressing frustration at the time, and I get this message and download type thing, and they're like, we're not landing unless you put your dog away.
Now, can I ask you a question? Why is that? Are they scared? What kind of dog do you got? You got like a big, like, monstrous dog?
It's the same reason why, you know, you shouldn't, you know, try to break into a house that has a Belgian Malinois in it. Like, you know, they like to bite. He's a great dog, but he's trained, and you know, I'm sure he would go after one of those things if he saw it. And I can't say that I blame them for wanting to put Duke away. He had to sit this one out, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I did that, which is not normal because I always have Duke with me. He's always on site and in the field. So after I put him away, you know, I went and expressed the frustration, and it looked like something ejected out of the bottom of this other orb, like another orb came out of it. And it had its own light source, and you know, you could see it just coming down from the sky, just making its way down. And I'm sitting there like, whoa, like this, I guess this is happening. And I just stood there and waited for them to come. It took about like 2 minutes for it to get down to below the tree line. And yeah, you see that craft came down, and then it morphed, and then it finally sat down on the ground. And you know, this is what I was looking at for about 10 minutes. And I told you, you know, I was in a weird mind frame observing this. And after about 10 minutes of this interaction, I was like, oh, like I'm tired. And you know, I have this workshop, and I went and sat down in my rocking chair like an old man and fell asleep. And while these things were still outside, like it was completely out of character for me. I would, you know, never willingly, consciously do that unless, you know, like
So
doesn't that sound bizarre?
I have a question for you. Do you think maybe that they took you, or they came? Like, I mean, all right, so they're gonna land 50 feet from you, right? They're gonna tell you to put your dog away, but then you suddenly get sleepy, which is not like you. You're special forces to begin with, so there's no way in hell you're just gonna get sleepy.
There's no way I'm going to sleep with an alien.
Right.
So close.
Right. I know. I'm fucking not outside.
But I did for some reason. So
was your butthole wasn't sore like afterward, like you didn't get probed or nothing like that, right? I'm just breaking your balls. Like you don't think you were taken, right? Like you think that for anything? Like do you have any loss of time or?
So this is what happened. I fall asleep in my rocking chair, and I wake up in another location, 200 yards away. Ended up on my couch, you know, across my property, and I woke up. I was like, oh, that was a strange dream that I had last night. And I had this shaved circle on my thigh with 3 pinholes in it. Looked like needle holes in a like equilateral triangle. And it hurt really bad, and it hurt for a couple weeks while it was healing. And I documented the whole healing process. I still don't grow hair there. It's numb to the touch. And I've had several missing time episodes, and after each one, there was another shaped circle next to that one, and started to form like a U shape. And you know, one has a slight little incision scar. Another one's got the 3 holes, and then one was just like, it looks like my veins were irritated there, and it's all still numb. Doesn't grow hair. And I have scoop marks on my left leg, but I've had those since I was a kid. But all of them are consistent with abductee cases or interactions with these things going back to the 60s. Dr. Gary Nolan, he's seen my leg in person, and he took a look at it, and it seemed like he had seen those before. But yeah, I had this dream that I was on this craft with 7 or 8 other people, and in the dream we were trying to, like, we're being brought to this other craft that was like somewhere on Earth. It was maybe buried in the dream, and there was only certain people could get access to this craft and open the door to it, and you use your mind to get into it, not physically but like psionically get this door to open. And we were flying these crafts with like a fly-by thought, like we just think, and it would go where we wanted it to go. And you know, I don't know if that was a dream, but again, I somehow made it, you know, 150, 200 yards without any recollection, and a little bruised up on my leg, and
yeah, I got
you know,
goosebumps just hearing it. Bananas. So I'm sorry. There's no. I'm going to speculate here. I'm a reasonable person. There's no doubt in my mind that you were abducted, or you've been abducted throughout your life. These abilities, now you just realized you had them in 21. Is it possible, like me, you had this stuff as a kid? Do you talk about anyone in your family with this stuff? Because I know these types of things are hereditary. Like I was telling you about my dad. I
Yeah.
know it's
So
hereditary.
I just found out recently that my mom had an experience like seeing like these little creatures run around in her room and be like in a sleep paralysis state. You know, but yeah, no, like I saw my first one when I was like 14 or something, and I'd seen them growing up like every summer because you're outside, and I'm seeing these things more than anybody, and because I'm just looking up, I guess. But I've always been interested in the topic for sure. Um, but I guess I'd always hoped to have, you know, a UAP encounter, and then it did, and then, you know, another. I, I think it was July 15th, 2015. I was on the dunes in Wellfleet, Massachusetts, and you know, right over the water, there was something over the water. It wasn't in the water, it was in the sky, but it wasn't that high up, and it had like 8 or 10 super bright white light rectangular lights like in a row, and the border of these lights were like pulsating different colors of the light spectrum, kind of like think like a barber pole is like spinning. It's just like pulsating light, and you know the thing was just hovering there for a few minutes, and there was this other orange orb, and it was like, you know, you're on the ocean. It was misty, like it was lighting up the like the mist in the air around it until it started going like this, and it went up inside this other craft, and then the craft just started just moving so smoothly just across the sky. And you know, I was a kid when I saw that, and um, young man, and witnessing that, like most of the time I would have stuck around for that, but there was like 20 other people there that saw it. I'm like, yeah, we're getting out of here. Like, you know, it kind of looked like, you know, it's like my first major profound sighting. But yeah, no, like that that's nothing compared to what I've been exposed to now. But I may have, you know, it's hard to say. You know, I've definitely been experiencing it since childhood, but I can't say that I was abducted or anything. You know, as a kid, I have no recollection of that.
Nothing that you know of. Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
you obviously you worked with and have worked with, still work with Skywatcher, right? Are you allowed to discuss anything Skywatcher related?
I can confirm that much, but yeah, I can't talk about anything Skywatcher,
Understandable.
fortunately.
I respect your privacy. Like I said, I'm not here to screw anybody.
Thank you.
I'm here because I loved your story. I loved hearing all of it, and this is what I want to do. I want you to tell your story. If you want to do it through me, I'm more than happy to do it with anybody who had any type of experience. So your story fascinates the absolute shit out of me. How many different alien species, let's say, do you think that you've interacted with? You prefer NHI? Is it okay I say alien?
Either or, man. You know, I grew up in the alien era too.
Okay. I'm
Um,
49, brother. I'm old. I'm an older man.
yeah.
So how many do you think you've interacted with? And common.
It's hard to, I guess, like when I am inviting, you know, these beings in, like I know I'm calling out to the same ones I've been working with.
Okay.
Um,
So that's
like it's almost like a specific frequency. It's like you're calling up. It's like phoning a friend. You know, you're
okay.
dialing into the frequency that's you're familiar with, and you know, just by the type of the craft, you know, I can tell the difference visually, but also like I make specific requests to interact with the different types of craft at specific times, almost uh, like scheduling a meeting. Um, but up close, I've seen 3 different types of beings.
Can you describe them?
Yeah, one of them was, you know, a little greenish gray guy, like from the photo, about 3.5 feet tall. There was another gray present with that one that was taller, they were closer to 5 feet. And then, you know, I've also interacted with the mantis. Call him the mantis. I don't know what it was, but that's what I
Now, are
believe it to be.
those friendly per se? Because mantis in art, it's. Have you seen mantis? Like they've ripped apart lizards. Like they're scary as friggin' shit. Like Julian Dory just posted a video. He's like, "Thank God that we are the dominant species on this planet because if it was mantis, we'd be dead in 20 minutes." and he just showed a video of a mantis just ripping a lizard apart. He's right. Those things scare the shit out of me.
Well, I mean, I like to think that a 6 foot tall mantis that's, sentient, conscious, like intelligent being maybe would have adapted to, some sort of community to fit in and not be hostile, if they got to that point.
Yeah, you would hope, but I mean, you never know. I mean, species.
But right. I think humans are probably far more dangerous, while they're here on Earth.
Yeah,
but
probably.
At the same time, like I believe life is extremely common in the universe, maybe not in our line of sight, but the human mind cannot comprehend how big it really is. So I would come to believe that some may not share the same morals and ethics and perception of right and wrong, good or bad as we do. However, I had an interaction. I'm still here to talk about it.
True. Yeah, that's true.
I didn't feel any fear or unease. I was more just shocked that it was happening. But I think, if something wanted to cause me harm, it probably had the capability to and chose not to. And as far as the missing time in the markings, some of the ideas I'm having about it and some of the downloads is pointing to, it was some of them like the needle holes were like an inoculation, because if we did get closer than that, one of a human or them could have gotten sick, because maybe there needs to be a decontamination process, so maybe that's what it could have been. I did have some physiological changes after that episode. Just kind of felt like I leveled up in a way with the psionics. It was easier and more. It's just easier to communicate, and the success rate when I go out in the field is damn near perfect. The only time was maybe one time I was with someone that they didn't show up while that person was there because I didn't like that person. But after they left, they showed up.
I hope they like me, because we're supposed to hang out. And you said you called some shit. I hope they like me. Yeah, I would. So when they were, is that the closest to your knowledge that you've ever been to an actual alien species? Can you talk about being closer? Have you talked about?
I'm not ready to talk about. No, it's not something that would get me in trouble. But I had an encounter recently, right after the Ross interview, that I don't think I'm ready to talk about yet. But we got close to something for sure.
Was it scary, or did you feel in danger? Was it like shut the fuck up or else, or was it like a normal? Is there anything you could talk about it?
I mean, fine if you can. I think just not being familiar with what I was looking at, someone might think it was scary looking.
So this is something new. It's something you've never seen before.
Yeah. I don't even really know. But yeah, no. Once I, I'll come out and talk about it eventually. I'm still kind of processing it. So.
No. I get it. I'm back of my head. I'm like, see. So okay, so you were 50 feet away from the ones in that video. Could you smell anything? Did you feel anything in the air? What did your senses tell you? This is what I'm always curious about. They give off a smell. What are you going through besides what you see? Got 5 other senses plus the 6th, probably a 7th, 8th.
Right. So, the smell smelled like an ammonia, swampy kind of smell. I did get sick after that interaction. I got the first pneumonia of my life. It was a really bad one. As far as hearing, the craft wasn't really making any sound. I think you can hear my footsteps in one of the video, but in the physiological feeling, I just wasn't frozen because I could get my phone out, but it was such a surreal experience that it was just kind of like a dreamlike state. And again, the fact that I was I'm tired, I'm gonna go to bed now, while there's I just had this crazy interaction. Like that's, you know, seems like not forced, but maybe they're making me compliant for something, which
so
led me to my couch.
Every time you summoned a craft or something in some form, was there always something inside of it? Because I've heard rumors that sometimes they're empty because they claim that there's one that just comes out wherever you need. Survey craft or survey.
Right. So I think that I've interacted with crafts that contain occupants, like the one that landed, and then I believe that some are autonomous and possibly even conscious themselves. So one of the major sightings that I always have is the triangular craft, a massive one, and I think that thing is pumping out smaller ones, you know, that are manned and unmanned as well.
So you think that the large triangular one that you've seen is one of the ones that creates them and pushes them out? So you don't think that craft
I think that might be a mothership for a bunch of other crafts, or creates them or something. Yeah.
And do you think that that's got aliens on it, or is it just an AI? I'm gonna build what it needs craft.
It's hard to say. It's so massive that it's, you know, you'd imagine something would be on it, you know, but I mean, who knows? But I do know that one orange orb I was talking about that's different than the rest. It's more like closer to, you know, more personable. That thing always comes before the big ship, so it'll come and like circle the area and scout it out. Sometimes it's done like a box around, and then the bigger craft will come after that.
Wait, you said that was okay? Because I don't know if we were recording when you talked about this. So can you go over that particular craft in general? Because I asked you,
right,
what's the feelings you get from that craft? What is that craft? It almost sounds kind of like Chris Bledsoe's The Lady to me, because you were saying how it made you feel loved, right? Can you go over that?
Right. Yeah. So I've seen all types of orbs: blue, green, white. But this orange one is different than the rest of them, and it'll come in and come closer than the other orbs, and it'll pulse, and it's trying to, I guess, let you know that it's safe to be around.
Mm-hmm.
And it always comes and like scouts out the area first, and then the big craft comes in.
I don't know if I told you about this, but last year I was filming the drones. I live in Jersey. I was filming the drones. I started day one. Started filming. I was filming vertically. I've never live streamed vertically. Started filming it vertically, and I was on the football field of my team. In the corner of my eye, I see something iridescent, glowy, and beautiful drift across the sky. It's flat like this, like a disc. And then it just turned sideways. It's shaped like a C. It's like boomerang / it flew with the opening like that. It just went across the sky, and it was gone. And I'm like, holy! I'm losing my mind on the live stream. Like I can't. 48. I've never in my life seen anything. And I've always watched. I've wanted to. You know, like you said you wanted to see. I've always wanted to. I know Jersey's a hotbed for UFO stuff. Look up in the sky, see that. 5 minutes after that comes and goes, get a blacked out helicopter fly directly over me. Like, losing my mind on that. Like, what the fuck is that doing? And the rest of the time, every time I film these damn drones, I saw something weird. It was mostly orbs. The only craft I'd seen was that. And since then, I just feel like I have to do this. And now here I am a year later speaking. You can connect with them, tell them thank you, because I can't stop.
I think you could tell them yourself.
I'm a little scared of that. We've had these conversations, brother. I'm really scared of that.
Well, they won't come if you're afraid.
I truly am. It scares me. I don't want to get abducted. Like anything bad happens to me, I want to. Yeah.
Maybe you got a higher chance of hanging out in New Jersey getting abducted than from these things.
By MS-13, probably. Yeah. That's what it is, but it blows my mind. But I guess, you know, if and when we hang out, I would love to. Maybe I can see. I don't even know how to meditate. I don't even know how to do anything.
Well, I am not a big meditator myself either. I don't sit down, you know, cross-legged with my hands like this and meditate.
Never get my brain to shut down.
I have, but I don't do it when I'm um, doing any psionics like summoning or contact work. I've gotten to the point where um, I can. It's just like phoning a friend. I'll tune into that signal that I'm familiar with, and be like, I'll schedule, you know, a meetup with these things essentially. And I have a window that I've been working with for the last several years. That you know, I've learned. I think I've been taught faith more by these entities than anything else I've experienced in my life so far.
Faith meaning like religion.
Faithing in not like having faith in anything really.
Right.
Faith that something you can't reach out and touch is gonna behave or do what you're asking it to do without any like real tangible evidence on the ground. Like, I've been under some pretty high pressure situations where, I had to showcase these abilities in front of some very important people, and I'm making these claims that, hey, this thing's going to show up at this time, and it does every time. And especially with like the mothership, I don't reach out to that unless I absolutely need to. It's someone like abuse it, but yeah.
Do the NHI that you said that there's several that you've reached out to on a regular basis, do they have names? You give them names? Do they give you a name? Like, how do I put this? Or do you feel as though you're friends or like kindred spirits to them? Like, how do you feel towards them? How do you express that?
It kind of feels, well, it's definitely some sort of relationship. It feels like maybe it's even transcended time. Who knows? But as far as names go, I don't really name them. Put like a name on them like you name a pet or anything. If it reached out and told me its name, that'd be cool. But I have gotten one little download. But again, like even now, it's hard for me to have discernment between like what's my own imagination and
Right.
Sometimes an actual. But like, there's a spectrum of that too. Like, I've witnessed several landings in my time, and both times, like the day before, I got hit with this message, and it was both times were the most sobering feeling I've ever gotten in my life. Like I almost had to like reach out and like hug the wall a little bit, like
Like,
oh
oh shit! Oh wow!
like
Really?
it's like wait, this is actually gonna happen, and
Like in a
I get
good
goosebumps right
way?
now thinking about it. Yeah.
Like in a
Yes.
relief?
Yeah, like in a relief, like Mike, like believe it, like this is real, like be prepared, like this is going to happen. Um, yeah, it's something that it's the most sobering, like oh my God, this is real moment I've had in my life.
Now you brought up interdimensional. Anaplina Luna brought up interdimensional, and I never. So I'm gonna. How do I put this? I'm not religious. I understand the need for religion. I support the need. I think it's a good thing that keeps most humans moral. I think it keeps people set where they need to be. It keeps society basically just. Because without morality and without some of this religion, people would just slaughter each other. Time. And then I always thought that the disclosure would bring, the end of religion. But now they're talking about interdimensional
I think
beings.
it might be the opposite of that.
Yes. So I'm just curious, are all of the beings that you've had contact with, are all of them interdimensional? And is there a difference between, so interdimensional means completely different plane of reality. I'm curious so obviously they're not traveling at the speed of light, right? They're traveling faster than the speed. I'm going to assume they use wormholes to get to, let's just say hypothetically, this one species is from Mars. Fastest way to get to Mars would be to teleport, correct? I'm assuming they have teleportation. They've mastered time travel and all that other stuff with it. So I'm curious if interdimensional also is interplanetary, and it just so happens to be they use a different methods of transporting from one planet to the other. They go through the dimension, or is it literally an entire different? That's the part that. I'm sorry, it's a long question. That's the part.
Okay.
Baffles the absolute fuck out of me. And I have so many questions pertaining to this. If you could shed any light on the difference between interdimensional, interplanetary, and where these things come from, do you happen to know?
So this is my take on it. I guess if you were gonna call something interplanetary, you know, if we were able to travel those vast distances, you'd figure out a way to not go 135 kilometers an hour like Atlas is and be
Right.
moving. You'd probably be faster than that. Um, so, in to the interdimensional thing, I think we're it encompasses everything. Like if there's another dimension like that's higher than ours here, there could be, this could be another planet in that dimension. And if they can lower themselves to a different density, and because I've seen these beings, they take shape of plasma, and it's a glowing plasma, and like you'll see it morphing and doing all this crazy stuff and turning into different things. It's like almost rendering into this dimension.
Okay, so that's basically what the Russian soldiers did when they turned the other. I'm sorry, that's what the Greys did when they turned the Russian soldiers to limestone. In that document, that was like, did you see that document? You know what I'm talking about?
I have heard of that, yes.
Okay, so basically how they all morphed into one. That's the other thing that throws me off. And these beings all morph into different things. Like,
well, again, I mean, like, if they're getting here somehow, whether it's going through a wormhole or an actual portal from another dimension, I think there's got to be so much diversity out there. Yes and no. I mean,
for sure.
I don't think I'm interdimensional. I can't just go through a portal in time travel. But it seems like when you're looking at a fan, when it's not moving, like you can't see through the blades, but when you turn it on, you can see through the fan now. It's like vibrating faster, so you can see through them.
Right.
Yeah, because it seems like there's a process to like materialize in this dimension. You can see it, like this light will appear out of nowhere too, and just like kind of open up and just until it turns into something.
Did you watch the hearings? Did you listen to any of the hearings? What did you think?
I did. Yeah,
what's your take?
I watched it. I think everyone's trying to play their part and do the best they can. Coming forward, it's very brave to go up there before Congress in the world. So hats off to those involved. I know Congressman Burleson is making his best effort.
I like that guy. I like him a
push
lot,
this forward.
Like him and Anna Polina. I'm loving them, dude. I really am. They're where they need to be, and they're doing what they need to do. And I love Berkeley.
Yeah, I was just in DC about a month ago. I briefed Eric Burleson in his office on some topics we discussed. But yeah, he's definitely a solid guy, and I'm grateful that we got him there.
Yeah, I think that those are the people we need. I think we need a couple more watchdogs. I was actually impressed by Crockett. I was really thrown off by Crockett. I didn't like how political they were making. She was one of the ones I was wary of, and she impressed me a little bit. But the one person that testified that really blew my mind was Dylan Borland. And I played for you he jumped into the Twitter space with Red Panda and Tupacabra and those guys, and he basically said, "Yo, we need you guys." I played that for you. What was your take on that? Have you heard that before? Or is that your first time hearing that?
That was my first time hearing it. Yeah, so this is my take. Disclosure is for the people, right? And it's gonna be done by the people if we want it to happen sooner than later, because we should have to wait around for the government to prove this is real. And I think a lot of people are stepping up and trying to play their part and work together to make this, because life, as we know, will change if some of these technologies, become public.
For the better.
And
you can't tell me that there's not medical technology that blows anything out of the water. What was that weird thing that Trump just released the other day with the med bed?
The med bed.
Yeah, what the fuck? That sounded like a healing bed. I'm like, count me in. My knees and my back is killing me. I could really use it, especially being hard and being fat as shit. So hook me up. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much stuff that can help us, and not to undercut all the horrific shit, because we know that the government has done horrific shit. There's people around. So the only way that could happen is amnesty. What's your take on that? Are you for giving them amnesty for the shit that they've done? Or do you think?
So I think that if disclosure is brought forth for the people by the people, they can wash their hands clean, and it's almost like using a third party to push disclosure, and attention will be diverted off of, which probably, I don't really have an opinion on that. I'm for America, so whatever is best, I think. So
Is there anything you'd like to leave us with? Is there a whistleblower that's coming, or anything that's coming that you know about that's going to be like, okay, this is it? Some shit that you know about that's coming for us? I'm hoping.
no, I'm not aware of anything like that right now, but I will say, trying to build up this community. We started a Discord called the United Alliance of Psionics. It's a place where people can talk and share experiences. And I would like to be able to do this more full time myself, and get some professional high tech equipment, and also be able to do some mass gatherings and leaded psionics contact in person in front of people. So that's something that we're working on, and thank you everyone for your support this far.
Is there anything you want to say to anybody out there? Like, is my buddy Julian Dory? I mean, I'm sure if you come to Jersey and you did a psionic event, you let me know, or I'd let him know immediately. Be like, yo, this dude's supposed to post UFOs. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Julian. He's got a great show.
yes, he does.
If he wants to see something that he's never seen before, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, dude, I'd be willing. And like I said,
As soon as you guys are ready.
I want you to come here and hang out. Let's game. You don't even got to talk about UFOs. You just talk gaming for once. You know what I mean? I want you to
Love that. You have the ultimate gamers set up over there.
Yeah.
It's like that's a world class.
50-inch arcade cabinet. This whole room is filled. Julian was impressed.
I'll just tell people I got abducted, and I'll just be in that room gaming for 3 weeks.
Absolutely, brother. Like, open invite, man. Anytime you hit me up, you got my number. You text me anytime. I want to thank you for doing this. I don't want to keep it too long. This has been great. Would love to do it again in the future. And fuck it, I'll even throw some balls. And if you want to summon one close to us, I guess Calgon take me away.
Just bring an extra pair of underpants, we'll be good.
I don't want alien AIDS or whatever the hell they got. You know what I mean? Can you do me a favor though? The next time you speak to them, can you ask them what their names are? Like, see if they'll tell you. Maybe. I think that
will.
Would be.
I will.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to discuss? Anything I left out? Anything I left on the table you want to bring up?
I think we talked about a lot. Now I got plenty more to share, so maybe we do this again.
Thank you so much. What is your Twitter handle, sir?
My Twitter handle is mbattista25 on X. I'm Psionic Asset on Instagram and TikTok.
Oh, you have and listen, I'm gonna say this. All these people that scream shill and they're trying to what's that stupid word they use for it?
Grifting.
There's nothing wrong with Michael Battista making money on the side. His name.
And people are asking for certain things from me. They want high quality footage. I'm not a professional cameraman. I run a business on the side in e-commerce. This stuff doesn't come for free either. So if I can, push any way to help people and they want to play a part and help get me the ability to give you guys what you want. Like, that's what I'm trying to do here. So it's not like I'm getting rich off.
Stop shitting on these guys for trying to make money off of this. I mean, this dude was a military veteran. Let him have that ability. It's not like military pensions are the greatest. I mean, we all know the UAPs. I'm sure you guys being whistleblowers, you get it twice as hard. You get your money from it. So what if he's selling a T-shirt, hat, or the other guy's selling fucking flannels? I don't care. I want you guys to do well. You know, you saw some weird shit, you dealt with weird shit, you deserve it. And you
Well,
also
I
you have
appreciate
that you got that other Instagram page, right, that you showed me. You want to talk about that or no?
Oh, my company?
Yes.
Yeah, so I run an apparel company. It's called Whoopi Official on Instagram. Um, you know, we suffered a major flood from a hurricane last season, and we're getting reestablished and opening our doors again in the next few months. So, actually, next few weeks.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to put the link to that, your Discord, your Twitter, and everything else social media-wise for you. I'll put it all in the description. Is that okay with you?
Yep, and I'm also a Psionic Asset on YouTube
Awesome.
as well.
Yes, I just subbed to your channel today 'cause I was watching it. Check out his video, guys. It just dropped today as well.
Yeah, we have 30 minutes of UAP footage, and we got something big on thermals in that.
That's
In
some
that
cool
footage.
shit, man. I was like, holy shit, this is dope. But anyway, Michael, thank you so much, brother. I'm going to stop record. Please, if you ever want to talk to me, reach out. You have my number. And if you have anybody else in your crew that would like to come on the show, I'll talk.
Yeah, no, I got a few people that would be interested. We have another Psi asset we work with who's going public. He's actually kind of halfway public. He's still in the military, but
Okay.
yeah,
If
he'll come on.
Mr. Jake Barber himself wants to talk to me, I'm more than happy to talk.
Jake's like he's elusive. He's an elusive creature.
He's the boogeyman, by the way. That's what he
because,
says he is, right?
Yeah, he definitely is. But thing is with Jake, man, you know, he doesn't need the money. He doesn't gain anything from exposure other than trying to like push this ball forward. Like, you know, everyone gets hated on. He got hated on, and you know, maybe he'll come on a show, but I can't guarantee anything.
No worries, brother. No worries. I want him to know it's out there that the invite is open to anybody in the UFO world. It goes for anybody. I don't care what your story is. I want to tell you. This is VITO
Sure.
from Gaming. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Mike.
Sure.